Have you ever wondered why, even when surrounded by loved ones, you sometimes feel disconnected during gatherings? For many, these occasions bring not only hugs and laughter, but also old wounds, memories of conflicts, and that invisible tension lurking beneath the surface of conversations. Perhaps you've experienced this: an unwanted comment, an unresolved argument, or an emotional distance that seems insurmountable. What if I told you there is a practical and profound way to deal with these situations? An ancient approach that not only reduces conflicts, but also transforms your most difficult relationships into sources of growth and harmony. It may sound almost impossible, but the answer lies in Stoic philosophy, an art of living that teaches how to find balance even in the most challenging moments. You don't need to surrender to emotional chaos. You can free yourself from the weight of old resentments and create space for what truly matters: genuine connection, true forgiveness, and a more mindful presence during celebrations. No, I'm not talking about letting it go or pretending everything is fine. That would be superficial. I'm talking about a real internal change that brings relief and clarity. Imagine attending a family gathering without being affected by provocations or painful memories. Picture having enough self-control to respond with calm and empathy, even in the most tense situations. This is true emotional freedom, a skill anyone can develop, provided they have the right guidance. Are you tired of repeating the same patterns? Of feeling that year after year, the same discussions and frustrations return like unwanted guests? Perhaps it's time to adopt a new mindset, one that doesn't rely on others changing, but instead focuses on an internal transformation that only you can initiate. What if I told you all of this is possible? That there is a time-tested method for handling conflicts, developing forgiveness, and creating meaningful memories during gatherings. Get ready, because you are about to discover an approach that can change not only your celebrations but your life. Imagine being at a family reunion where different personalities intersect, and old stories can reignite long-dormant feelings. For Stoics, empathy is not merely a choice. It is a necessary virtue for harmony. Practicing empathy means letting go of snap judgments and trying to understand what drives someone to act in a certain way. Perhaps that difficult relative is grappling with invisible challenges. True understanding arises when we allow ourselves to see beyond apparent behavior, recognizing the complexities of human nature. Think about it. What if every interaction were an opportunity to exercise the virtue of empathy? Imagine listening without interrupting, asking genuine questions instead of formulating responses while the other person speaks. The Stoics believed that understanding others' motivations was a pathway to inner peace. This doesn't mean tolerating abuse, but rather creating a human connection that allows for reconciliation. Practice this in your next difficult conversation. Ask yourself, what might this person be facing that I cannot see? As you develop this skill, you will notice that tensions can dissipate like fog in the sun. A simple example: at a Christmas dinner, instead of reacting to a critical comment, try to understand what motivated that remark. It could be fatigue, insecurity, or even an unconscious search for attention. Empathy builds bridges where once there were chasms. What if true understanding began with internal silence? Stoic practice suggests observing without reacting immediately. Words once spoken are like arrows shot into the wind. Taking a deep breath before responding is more powerful than it seems. Self-control arises in that space between stimulus and response. Thus, gatherings can become less arenas of disputes and more occasions for genuine celebration. Empathy is not just an idealistic philosophy, but a practical tool for cultivating harmony in relationships. Recognizing this is a courageous step toward a lighter, more meaningful life. Understanding transforms ordinary interactions into significant memories marked by respect and connection. And what if a more open conversation could heal old wounds? This approach is like a precious gift we can offer to others and ourselves. After all, cultivating empathy is a way to celebrate what is most human: the ability to put ourselves in another's shoes, understanding their pains and joys. This brings us to another profound aspect of Stoicism, a theme that may be even more challenging: acceptance and forgiveness. Life would be much lighter if we accepted that people are imperfect. The Stoics understood this deeply and believed that acceptance is an act of wisdom, not resignation. Imagine entering a family gathering knowing that everyone there is just like you, a work in progress. By accepting human nature, imperfect and mutable, You disarm conflicts before they even happen. It's not about justifying mistakes, but recognizing that everyone is fighting invisible battles. Forgiveness for the Stoics is a conscious choice to free oneself from emotional shackles. Holding on to resentment is like grasping a hot coal, hoping to burn another. Think about it. What do you gain by clinging to old grievances? When you forgive, you do not absolve the other person of their responsibilities, but you free yourself from the burden of constantly reliving the pain. Forgiveness is an act of self-care, a way to preserve your inner peace. How often do we cling to a past mistake as if it could rewrite what has happened? Stoic practice teaches that the past cannot be changed, but our responses to it can. Consider an example. After a heated argument, instead of ruminating on the words spoken, you can choose to seek understanding. A simple gesture of reaching out can dissolve years of tension. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is emotional strength. Accepting does not mean agreeing with everything, but rather acknowledging that no one is defined by a single mistake. How many reconciliation opportunities have been lost due to pride or fear of appearing vulnerable? Forgiveness builds bridges and restores the possibility of a more harmonious future. Think of that time you were forgiven. How did it change your view of yourself and the other person? During celebrations, making room for forgiveness can transform any gathering into an unforgettable moment. Instead of focusing on past failures, why not value the qualities that remain? It won't always be easy, but consistent practice can bring a profound sense of freedom. Just as a storm inevitably dissipates, so too can the resentments we hold on to. And what happens when forgiveness feels impossible? Perhaps it's time to reevaluate your expectations. Sometimes accepting that change depends on others is the first step toward finding inner peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, allowing you to move forward with lightness and clarity. After all, the past is unchangeable, but the present is still in your hands. And it is in the present that the power of focus on what truly matters resides. How many times have you found yourself at a celebration, yet your mind was trapped in a past problem or future worries? The Stoics taught that the only moment we truly have is the present. Living in the now doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities. It means giving your full attention to what is happening at this very moment. Imagine how special it would feel to value every smile, every sincere conversation, every memory created, as if they were rare and precious. The Stoic practice of focusing on the present involves freeing yourself from mental distractions and concentrating on what is essential. During gatherings, this might mean turning off your phone and genuinely engaging with those around you. Rather than seeking the perfect photo for social media, why not create a memory that doesn't need to be documented? Being truly present is the greatest gift you can offer others and yourself. Focus on what is within your control: your attitude, your words, and your actions. This means you can choose to respond with kindness, even when the environment isn't ideal. If an uncomfortable conversation arises, view it as an opportunity to practice patience and understanding. Stoicism reminds us that trying to control others' behavior is futile, but we can control how we react to them. Practice this philosophy in the small things. During a dinner, immerse yourself in the flavors and aromas and the laughter around you. Instead of worrying about what might go wrong, ask yourself, how can I make the most of this moment? This isn't about being carefree, but about being conscious. Appreciating the present moment is an intentional act of gratitude. Imagine how special it would be to end a celebration knowing that you were truly present, without past resentments or future anxieties, but with the clarity of having experienced the moment in its entirety. The Stoics called this memento vivere, remember to live. It's a constant practice, not a permanent state, a habit built day by day. And what if the present feels challenging? That's where true Stoic practice comes into play. Preparing your mind to handle discomfort is a powerful way to avoid frustration and maintain calm even in the face of difficulties. Life will never be free of problems, but we can confront them with more serenity when we anticipate their possibilities. This leads us to the mental preparation for discomfort. If you've ever attended a family gathering with apprehension about potential conflicts, congratulations. You've already practiced, even if unconsciously, a Stoic lesson called premeditatio malorum. The Stoics taught that imagining difficult scenarios before they happen helps you face them with greater calm. Mental preparation isn't pessimism. It's a smart strategy for dealing with reality. Think of a party where tensions might flare due to old issues. Anticipating this allows you to plan wiser and less reactive responses. Imagine arriving at an event already aware that misunderstandings may arise. By preparing, you strengthen yourself. For example, before a challenging dinner, visualize a tough conversation and practice respectful, assertive responses. Instead of being caught off guard, you'll have an internal manual for navigating uncomfortable situations. This creates a kind of emotional shield, protecting your inner peace. Preparing for discomfort also involves adjusting your expectations. Perhaps the event won't be as perfect as you imagined, and that's okay. The outside world rarely molds itself to our desires. A simple practice is to remember that we have no control over others' behavior, but we can control our reactions. Thus, even an unexpected argument can become an exercise in patience and empathy. The premeditatio malorum isn't just about predicting the worst. It's also about developing resilience. A practical example: if you know a family member tends to provoke, mentally practice a calm, assertive response. Take a deep breath, count to 3, and respond thoughtfully. This preparation strengthens your emotional clarity and prevents you from being swept away by negative emotions. This practice isn't limited to holiday gatherings. It can be applied to any area of life, from job interviews to delicate discussions at work. Training your mind to respond with balance makes all the difference. After all, difficulties are part of the human experience, and facing them with serenity is a true demonstration of self-control. And if, despite being prepared, you find yourself in the midst of a conflict, this is the perfect opportunity to practice the next Stoic principle: self-control during discussions. Having a plan is good, but sticking to it requires an emotional mastery that few possess. But you can develop it. Have you ever been in a conversation that started innocently but quickly turned into an emotional battleground? In those moments, self-control is the difference between a productive discussion and an unnecessary conflict. The Stoics believed that intense emotions shouldn't be suppressed, but consciously controlled. After all, reacting impulsively is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. At gatherings, this skill can transform tense moments into opportunities for genuine connection. When someone makes a provoking comment, your first impulse might be to retaliate. But a 3-second pause can be your greatest ally. In that brief moment, you can choose between firing back or responding constructively. Imagine a scenario where you're unfairly criticized. Taking a deep breath and responding with calm shows that you have control over your emotions, and that impresses more than any argument. Consider a simple practice. Before any family gathering, visualize possible challenging situations and prepare balanced responses. It's not about being cold or calculating, but about preventing your emotions from dominating your actions. During a dinner, for instance, if someone brings up a sensitive topic, you can gently redirect the conversation, demonstrating that harmony is more important than winning an argument. Self-control does not mean accepting disrespect, but choosing how to react. The Stoics taught that while we cannot control what others do, we have complete dominion over how we respond. An effective technique is to practice active listening. Instead of interrupting, listen until the end, acknowledging the other person's perspective before speaking. This calms the atmosphere and demonstrates emotional maturity. Remember, self-control is not a weakness, but a sign of true inner strength. When faced with harsh comments or challenging behaviors, you can be the anchor that keeps the environment stable. Even if others don't immediately recognize your efforts, you will feel at peace for having acted in accordance with your values. What if, instead of merely avoiding conflicts, you could transform these moments into something deeper? Celebrations are perfect occasions to create meaningful memories, even in the face of challenges. Because in the end, it's those moments of overcoming adversity that become unforgettable stories, and they lead us to reflect on the power of significant memories. Some of our best memories are made in the most unexpected moments. The Stoics believed that life is a collection of fleeting instants and that we should cherish each one. Think of a family celebration where a simple conversation turned into a lifelong memory. Often these memories don't arise from grand events but from small gestures of genuine connection. A shared smile, a kind word, or an unexpected hug. Parties provide the perfect backdrop for cultivating these meaningful experiences. Imagine choosing consciously to create special moments. It could be a deep conversation with a relative you haven't seen in a while, or teaching a child to play a classic game. It's these small interactions that turn into emotional treasures. Life isn't measured by the number of days we live, but by the moments that truly touch us. Stoicism teaches us to be present in body and spirit. During celebrations, avoid getting lost in trivial worries or technological distractions. Turn off your phone for a few hours and allow yourself to live the moment fully. A simple practice is to ask sincere questions to those around you. Listen to their stories. Give them your full attention, a rare gift in today's world. This creates memories far more valuable than any material gift. Another way to build significant memories is to find beauty in impermanence. The Stoics recognized that everything passes, which makes each moment even more special. Think about this during a family meal. Notice every detail: the aroma of the food, the texture of laughter, the soft light illuminating beloved faces. By practicing this mindfulness, you transform a simple evening into an unforgettable event. Be intentional about creating moments that stick in memory, perhaps by preparing a special dessert, organizing a group game, or sharing an inspiring personal story. These actions may seem small, but they have a lasting impact. After all, when we look back, it's these memories that warm our hearts. And even when celebrations end, the memories remain as an emotional anchor. They remind us of who we are and what matters most in life. Because in the end, it's not the gifts or decorations that make a celebration unforgettable, but the bonds we build. Perhaps this is the perfect moment to delve deeper into the teachings that can transform your life forever. Have you noticed how Stoic ideas can transform not only your parties but also your life? Imagine applying these principles whenever emotional challenges arise, from small family tensions to major personal conflicts. Empathy, forgiveness, focus on the present, and self-control are not abstract concepts. They are practical tools you can use to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. Now I ask, how many precious memories have you missed creating because you were stuck in the past or worried about the future? How many opportunities for connection have you lost by allowing fleeting emotions to control your actions? Think of the times when a simple conversation could have turned into an unforgettable moment, if only you had applied these lessons. If you truly want to change your life, start by changing your approach to your relationships. Leave behind the mindset of waiting for others to change first. True transformation happens when you take responsibility for your own emotional state. What do you have to lose by trying something different? So, why delay this change? Parties are just the beginning. Imagine what your life would be like if you had more control over your emotions, more clarity about your priorities, and more presence in the moments that truly matter. What kind of person would you become if you practice these virtues every day? If you're ready to transform your relationships and your mindset, I have a special suggestion for you. The ebook Stoic Mindset was created to guide you step by step through this process. It offers practical strategies based on Stoic principles for dealing with difficult emotions, cultivating resilience, and finding balance. With it, you'll be better prepared to face not just parties, but any challenging situation life presents. Click the button now and discover how to apply Stoicism in practice. Don't wait another year to live with more lightness, purpose, and harmony. Start today. And before you go, don't forget to watch the next video that's appearing on the screen. It brings an essential teaching that can complement everything you've just learned.